Good afternoon again, people. Watchwoman 65, Lisa Boyce here. I got an interesting article just now from Now the End Begins. I'm going to read this to you. It's about Mike Pence. Vice President Mike Pence met with Pope Francis in the Vatican at noon today. Well, it would be yesterday. I think it would be yesterday, their time. And the two spoke together in private for an hour, a surprisingly long time for an audience with someone who has not a head of state. It was their first meeting. It says here that Mike Pence met with Pope Francis today. That was distinguished by how long of a meeting it was and the fact that the main part of the meeting was held in secret behind closed doors. The private meeting comes as a direct result of a meeting by U.S. Ambassador to the Holy See, Callista Gingrich, where she expressed the desire of the United States. I think that's Newt Gingrich's wife, I think, where she expressed the desire of the United States to fully support the Abrahamic Faith Initiative, otherwise known, get ready for it, drum roll please, One World Religion of Islam. Now, Revelation 13:1-12 says, I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke like a dragon, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. I will go on with this. Since the real meeting was held in secret, and it will be a few days or weeks until the information gets leaked. And this is the author of Now the End Begins. He's saying, I cannot say for certain that they discussed the Abrahamic Faith Initiative or Islam, but I can say this. The whole theme of the proceedings was based completely around what the Bible calls the false peace that Antichrist brings. You will note that the Angel of Peace medallion Pope Francis gave to Mike Pence has the royal crest of the Vatican on the front, complete with the fish hat of the god Dagon. That's a demon. At the top. And the sun god in the middle. You can see it in the photo. I'm going to link this article in my description box. You can see the photo at the top of this article. This fits perfectly with the Abrahamic Faith Initiative and the false peace that will come from it. Interestingly enough, Mike Pence says that now listen to this, because I had a feeling about Mike Pence, but I wasn't sure. Mike Pence says that he is an evangelical Christian who was raised Catholic. He says, I was raised Catholic and then got saved in 1991 and became a Christian. I can only surmise from the part of the meeting that was made public that Mike Pence views Roman Catholicism as a legitimate expression of Christianity. Like I said, I thought it was something about this man that I had no idea that he was Catholic. Because see, people like him, here again, they think Catholicism is part of the Christian faith. It's not. Which is absolutely, like I just said, it's not. Instead of presenting the Pope with a cross made from a tree at the Vice President's residence, Mike Pence should have presented Pope Francis with the gospel of grace, of the grace of God. But then if you're helping to create this one world religion of Islam, the gospel would seem a little out of place, won't you think? Well, now, Mike Pence and Pope Francis meet in a surprisingly long first visit. Now, this is from the Jesuit American magazine. right here. It says, I wanted to extend the warmest greetings on behalf of President Donald Trump, who so enjoyed his visit here, Mike Pence told Francis as they sat down. Pope Francis then engaged in a private conversation with the vice president with the aids of interpreters. The length of their conversation would suggest that they went in depth on some topics. When they finished with their private conversation, Mike Pence presented his wife, daughter-in-law, and other members of his delegation to the Pope. The two leaders exchanged gifts. According to Indy Star profile of Mr. Mike Pence from 2016, like I said, he was born and raised Catholic. He calls himself, now listen to this, Mike Pence calls himself a born-again evangelical Catholic. If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is. That's what he calls himself. So actually, if he's still involved in Catholicism, I'd have to question if he's really saved. I'm sorry, but I do. The vice president came to the Vatican from Jerusalem, where he had participated in the Fifth World Holocaust Forum at the Yad Vashem Memorial yesterday, January 23rd, with presidents, prime ministers, and royalty from over 40 countries. Given this fact, it would seem reasonable to presume that he and the Pope spoke about this and perhaps also the situation in the Holy Land. So, it says before the two leaders met, one Vatican official told America the meeting was a courtesy visit, as Mike Pence was also visiting Italy and was scheduled to meet with the country's president, Sergio Mattarella, who also attended the Holocaust Forum, and Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte. But given the length of the meeting, it could have been much more. The Vatican did not issue a press statement, and since the vice president is not the head of state. Think about that for a little while. Make your comments because this is I think this was important for you all to know. Anyway, if anything else pops up, I will be back on. Thank you.